What's up, everybody? Welcome to Moose Milk Podcast, episode 22. 22. How have we already done this 22 weeks? It's crazy. I'm Ryan, waiting for Matt to join us, but I hope everybody's doing well. Thank you for taking the time out to come and spend the evening with us. Late night, 1 a.m. Eastern Time. This week, no topic. It's going to be interesting. We've never done this before. We're just going to talk. Whatever comes to mind. Look at Matthew.
So funny. I came on and was like, oh man, he's definitely had a couple drinks. This is going to be funny.
I'm like 4 or 5 drinks deep, buddy.
All right. That's great. I'm not as exciting as you, but I did just have a puff, so that was good.
You're like ridiculously quiet.
Oh, really? Oh, let me see here. Here, let's do this. Let's switch the earphones up. Sometimes that helps.
I don't know.
Let's see. Can you hear me better?
Very quiet.
Still really quiet?
Yeah.
All right, let's just for a minute. Try it again. How about now?
Same.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know. Might be just my phone. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah. Maybe your phone just sucks.
It's a mystery. Nope, you're gone now. Oh, there you are.
I don't know what happened. Hang on.
You're good. No? Not good?
All right. Is that better?
That is better.
All right, good.
You're so quiet, but I can see you at least. What's up, buddy?
Fucking annoying.
Technical difficulties of streaming on Instagram. It's a mystery every week.
Yep.
Some weeks I'm a robot voice. Sure. Some weeks Matt's as quiet as the mouse.
Hey, we haven't had robot voice issues since you switched your phone. I think it's only been 1 or 2 weeks, though, right?
Yeah, it's only the second episode since, but I think it was the phone, but I don't know. Maybe it's Instagram. I have no idea.
I know. I always wonder if I should invest in a better microphone.
I was thinking about it, but I think Instagram's really finicky with using outside mics.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. I know.
We're trying to look at seeing if we can move it. So, welcome everybody. This week we're going to talk about our business plan, how to move this forward.
This week you're going to listen to Inside Baseball, and we're only going to talk about how we suck at doing this.
That's right. It's a half-ass attempt, but it works well.
I think it's also because you're on iPhone and I'm on Android.
Maybe.
And my buddy said that on iPhone the Instagram app is tied into the phone where it works with it better. Where on Android it's I don't know, it's something to do with it uses a filter on it or something where it's it doesn't work as well on Android for some reason. But I'll never go Apple and you'll never go fucking Android, so it doesn't really matter.
Watch, I'm gonna go down a little bit.
I liked it.
That's great. Hey, I feel like the Eternals trailer was so long ago. Did we just not talk about it last week, or did we talk about it last week?
That's a mystery. Nobody can solve that mystery.
I feel like we didn't talk about it, and I was like, why did we not talk about it? It was an MCU thing. I know we both weren't in love with it or anything, but
I think we talked about it privately, but
yes, we did talk about it privately.
I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast, but I thought it was really bad.
We should talk about it because we both have a similar opinion on it, which I don't think I'm that surprised by in this case. I feel like we're pretty aligned on this one here.
I look at it as this. I don't know anything about the Eternals. And I know a lot of people are way more into the comics and know way more details than I ever will about all this stuff. So I'm not going to play that game of I'm the idiot here, which I am the idiot here. But I felt that the trailer didn't show you anything. It showed you a look at like, oh, here's some famous actors and actresses that you recognize. It didn't give us a plot. It didn't tell us what the movie was even about.
And a ripped Kumail Nanjiani.
Yeah.
He's fucking ripped, like, man.
Yeah, I just felt like it didn't do anything for me. Like, I know it's a teaser, and I'm sure there's a full trailer coming, but
yeah,
it didn't tell me what the movie was about. I don't know what the plot's about. It was just basically like, hey, we can show you panned scenes of things for a minute.
Finnegan's face when you did that was really cute. He just like stuck his head up and oh, hi Finn, you're very quiet right now.
He's miserable because it's hot.
Oh, is it? That sucks. It was hot here for us this week too. I feel like that was the point of it though, you know? Like I feel like they were not trying. I feel like essentially what this was like them just saying, hey, like this is coming. And like I feel like they kind of tied it into the MCU by kind of having that piece where it was like, where they kind of mentioned like, oh, you know, now that Captain America and Iron Man are gone, who's gonna whatever? Like, I feel like that was just like a way to kind of like tie it into the MCU so people like don't like write it off as like, what the fuck? Like, is this like fantasy, like sci-fi stuff? You know what I mean? Like, I think visually what I saw looked good, but like it just didn't do anything to get me excited. And like, I'm the same as you. I literally know nothing about the Eternals. The only thing I know about the Eternals is that Cersei, who is an Avenger, is an Eternal. And that's really like all I really know. Like, at least with Guardians, like when I knew the movie was coming at the time I was reading comics, I like went and read the comics to like prepare for it. So it's like at least going into that I had like a ballpark idea of like who they were and like what they're kind of what they, you know, were about. Enough to like have a guideline to be like, okay, how true to this is this to like to the comics kind of thing, right? But like going into this, it's like I know nothing about the Eternals, nothing at all.
Same, and that's what I mean. Is like to me, the point of a teaser trailer is to get you hyped for the film. So it needs to show you what is this movie about. Here are the stars of this movie. Here are the characters of this movie. Here is a few scenes that are either full of comedy or action to get you hyped for the film. And this is when it's coming out. That's the job of a teaser trailer. It does not fulfill anything but here are the people of this film and here is when it's coming out. And to me, that's a huge epic failure. Like, if it was Spider-Man or Iron Man or, I don't know, Captain America or something like huge that everybody knows about already, then that's fine. You can tease something very abstract and get people excited for it still, because you can just show, hey, here's Spider-Man swinging through a city. There's no plot. We don't need to show you anything. It's just, oh, Spider-Man's here. Check it out. Okay, it comes out.
Like you said, though, right? It's different because it's we know who that is. Like that's
but that's what I'm saying. Yeah. The Eternals. I don't know anything about these characters, so tell me what this movie's about. Tell me why I should care about this movie. Tell me why I want to go see this movie, and it doesn't do that.
I feel like the general consensus is that people are liking it, so it's like I'm happy that people are digging it, but it's just like for me, it didn't. It's not that it didn't work; it just didn't like. If it was supposed to get, it's like you just said, like if it was supposed to get me hyped for it, like it failed to do it. I still think I have no doubt that it's going to be good. Like that's the thing is like I'm an MCU lover, like. For me to think something's going to not be good in the MCU, they will have to actually prove me wrong, because like I feel like they're really, really good at storytelling, and I'm not saying that there isn't plot holes. There's always plot holes.
Yeah, of course.
In every movie, like for the most part, that has more than like of a complex story, right? And like I feel like as a whole, they do a really, really good job at telling a story, an overall story, and like. I just think that, like they will literally have to ruin something for me to lose that trust, because I just feel, and again, it's not like I think everything is going to be a home run for me, but it's just, I feel like they pay attention to the details where a lot of the other, like the Sonys and the Foxes of the time, like that's the stuff that they were like, no one gives a shit about that little stuff. And it's like,
I agree.
Yeah. Like anyone who is into this invested like heavily we all give a shit about the little stuff.
Yeah.
It's all about the little stuff. That's what makes the characters who they are.
I totally agree with you. And like, I think that's where Fox failed with X-Men.
Yeah, me too. Totally.
They didn't care about the little things. They didn't.
Nope.
They thought, hey, we can redo the Phoenix saga, and it doesn't matter about the details. It doesn't matter about if we're accurate in doing it. We're going to call it the Phoenix saga, and these fans are going to come and see it regardless. And it's like, well, no, you fucked it royally up, and no fan of this comic storyline is going to go see the movie and go, oh, that was great. Like, no, you fucked it up royally. And then X-Men 3 came out, and it was like, we're just going to throw everything at the fucking dartboard. Like, it doesn't matter what the fuck we do. Yeah. And that's where it went wrong. After X3, they had to reboot the franchise because fans fucking hated it. It's the same as Spider-Man 3. Like, Spider-Man 3 threw everything at the dartboard. It was like, okay, we need every villain we can get in this thing. We're not going to have a plot or make sure it's accurate. We're just going to throw everything we can at the dartboard and hope something sticks. And it failed miserably. And
so miserably.
So like, that's what I mean. It's like, I feel like these studios should learn from that. Is like, okay, we've gone down this path. We've learned from this path. Little things matter. And so far, the MCU has like mastered that as like, the little things do matter. And we're gonna throw back little tiny minute details from 10 movies ago in this next thing, and it's gonna matter. And I hope I have zero expectations that the Eternals are gonna be bad in any way. But as somebody that knows nothing about them, those teasers did not do anything to get me excited for the movie.
Yeah, same here.
And
that could be a big part of why it just doesn't catch us either, right? It's like
100%.
It's a property that I'm just like, and again, right? It takes it a step further, right? Like it goes even further into like the less grounded realm that the MCU is currently headed in, right? So it's like, and it's like a huge step, right? It's like, okay, these people are like not even human. Like they might look human, but like they're godlike in ability, right? So,
totally.
I mean, presumably we don't even fucking know that, really, right?
No, I agree with you. And like, for me and you, it doesn't matter because we're gonna go see the movie regardless.
Totally.
They could say, hey, the MCU's coming out with PoopKing.com as the next film.
PoopKing.com. It's my favorite.
And we'd be like, all right, we're in. Like, we'll go see it. I don't care. It has the MCU logo at the beginning. We'll pay money to go see this movie. But for somebody that
I like Poop King 2, Major Diarrhea.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, for me and you, it doesn't matter. We've seen pretty much every comic book movie release since they've started releasing comic book movies.
Not DC ones for me, but yes.
But if somebody is not super into this at this point, is this a place where you can say, that movie looks cool, can I jump in there? And I would say, maybe, I don't know. I have no idea what this movie's about.
Yeah.
I also think that they're really pushing Loki right now. And I think that they almost don't care because the Eternals is still 6 months out. And
probably. The thing is like we have content until the end of the year right now, pretty much, right? Like we have Loki, and then we have Black Widow, we have more Loki, then we have What If, then we have Eternals, then we have Spider-Man, plus in there I think we have another show, don't we? Isn't there another one at the end of the year?
I can't remember what it is right now.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought there was another one. But
She-Hulk, maybe? I don't remember.
I don't think She-Hulk's this year. Maybe there's not another Marvel one, but there'll be Star Wars ones. But
I don't remember.
But still, having fresh content every 3 months or like more regular than that, like that's a huge upgrade from what we were getting post-pandemic.
Well, like the rumor is we're getting a Spider-Man trailer like soon,
next couple days,
in the next few weeks.
Yeah, I've heard that. Well, there was rumor that it was supposed to be this week on Tom Holland's birthday, but it never happened.
Right. So I assume that's coming in sometime. I think what Disney's focused on right now is getting Loki out the door, seeing the response to the first episode of Loki.
Yep.
Then they're going to start pushing Black Widow because it comes out, I think, July 9th or July, somewhere in the early July. They're going to push Black Widow hard through either there's going to be like trailers or something alongside Loki, like at the beginning of Loki, they might tease it or whatever, or it's going to be advertised like fucking mad in the next, 6 weeks.
Yeah.
and then they're going to start pushing Eternals really hard. I think they want to see what happens with Black Widow for sure. Just because I don't know if they think that people are going to see it in theaters. I mean, the States is kind of getting back to normal. So if the States' response is huge for Black Widow, then they may be like, all right, we're pushing the Eternals crazy right now. If the response is extremely tepid, I think you're going to see a lot more commercials, a lot more like sports advertisements between like NBA and NHL playoff games, that kind of thing. And then come into like the football season, Sunday Night Football, you're going to see fucking Eternals trailers and stuff like that to really push it.
Yeah, and the big like the things where it's like getting this best exposure, chance at exposure to, totally.
The fact that Cruella just came out in Canada on Disney Plus for $35 is like, to me, Disney does not care. If they wanted to push Cruella, they would have put it out at $19.99, something reasonable.
Yeah.
Put it out at $35 is like instantly. I'm like, no, I anybody that knows me knows I am in love with Emma Stone. I think Emma Stone is one of the most beautiful women on the planet. And the fact that I won't pay for that movie because it's $35 tells you a lot, because I will pretty much watch anything that Emma Stone is in.
Yes, you are an Emma Stone fan.
Yeah. So no, it's just not going to happen. $35 is an absurd
I know. I went to look at it the other day.
rental.
I was like, "Oh, Cruella now. Let's see." And I went and looked. I was like, "Holy shit, that's a lot of money for."
Yeah.
That. I'll wait.
If
I'll
you
just
got to
wait 3
keep the
months,
movie,
and it'll be on Disney Plus, and then I can watch it for free.
if it was like pay now for $35, and when the movie comes out for
You can have it.
digital, you can keep the copy of the movie permanently digitally.
Yeah.
I would be in. If it was like you can pre-order the Blu-ray or 4K copy of the movie, and then we'll give you a code to watch the digital version now as a rental or whatever, I'd be in on that too. But like, to ask me to pay $35 for a 48-hour rental, it's not going to happen, dude.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. When Black Widow comes out, that's probably what I'm going to do, because by that time, I don't know if I'll have my second vaccine shot yet. So like, if I have to watch it at home, I will. I would love to go to the movies, but
like, I have 4 or 5 friends here that will split on that fee for me.
Right.
Like, we are already planning, like, hey, let's get a projector, let's sit out in somebody's backyard and
do it right.
Watch Black Widow for $35. We'll all chip in $5 and watch Black Widow on a night, a weekend or whatever when it comes out. I am not going to sit in my own house and spend $35 on Black Widow. It's not going to happen.
I probably will. But I mean,
fair.
But in fairness, like, I'll watch it with Kate once, and then like I'll watch it again in the 48 hours at least once. Like, especially if I know I can have access to it, like I'll rewatch it, because that's like, I'm that person. Like, I'll go to the movies. Like, when the movies were coming out and I was going to them, like, I went on Thursday night opening, usually with a friend, and I bought the tickets when I would go with a friend, like on opening night, just because like I'd have people who like don't really give a shit. I'm like, just come for the free ticket, whatever. And then like I would go usually like sometimes I would go again with Kate or with another friend, and then I'd usually go the following Monday. We would have like all my local like nerd friends would hang out, and like instead of customizing figures on the Monday, we would go and see the latest Marvel movie. Yeah. So like whenever a new one would come out, we would do that too. So I was literally seeing these movies in theaters 3 times anyway. Like, I was buying 4 tickets at least. Yeah,
and when you look at it that way, you're spending $14 to $18 a ticket anyway.
Yeah.
So, when you go see it 3 times, you're already spending $35. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
For me, I typically only see a movie once in theaters, and then when it comes out on Blu-ray or 4K, I'll buy the copy of the movie. I'm a collector. I love collecting movies. So, to me, it's ridiculous to spend 2 or 3 times in theater and then buy it. And if I really like a movie, I will buy it. Like, I'm waiting. Like, the new Saw movie just came out called Spiral or whatever the hell.
Did you watch
it's terrible. It? I'm gonna buy it because I'm a huge Saw fan.
Yeah.
The new Conjuring movie it came out today. I can't wait to watch it.
Did you see Spiral? I can't remember.
I haven't seen it. No.
No. Okay.
The new Quiet Place movie came out. I will buy that when it's available for 4K. But like,
Right.
I'm not spending $25 on a rental or $20 on a rental.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. Yeah, I do agree. When you put it into perspective, it's a lot to ask for sure. I do get it. Yeah.
I can buy the copy of the movie on 4K DVD or Blu-ray or whatever for $30 or $25. I'm not going to rent it for $25. It's too high of a price.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
But I'm excited for Loki. Like everything I see for Loki, I'm like, that show looks awesome.
Yep, sure does. Can't wait.
And so like I went to mention this at the top, but obviously next week Loki starts on the Wednesday. We are going to still record on the Friday, like normal, but I will be in Muskoka on vacation. So
really?
Yeah. So I'm going to record from Muskoka, but I don't know what my internet / like cell phone reception will be. So it's going to be trial and error. Like if the episode is choppy or like Matt can't, hear me or see me or whatever the case may be, then we will have to postpone it to the following week and just do 2 episodes when I get back.
Yeah.
But I'm going to attempt to do it from Muskoka just to get it out of the way. I don't want to miss a week.
Be like really drunk for that one.
It's going to be a slop show. Because I'm working till 5:30 that morning, and then we're leaving at like 7 or 8 to drive to Muskoka, which is like 5 or 6 hours.
You're gonna be a fucking mess.
So I'm gonna sleep in the car on the drive up there, but then like when we get there, I'm gonna probably start drinking or at least start, So I'm talking like probably by like 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm gonna be drinking. So
remember that time?
By 1 a.m., it's gonna be a slop show.
Remember that time we went camping in Wheatley and you got so drunk in the day that like you passed out at the bathroom, and then I had to go and pick you up. And when we got back to the site, you tried to give me cab fare.
Not just that, while in the car, while you were going like 10 kilometers an hour,
yes, I
was
slow.
like, Matt, you got to slow down, man. You're going way too fast here.
Like, dude, my foot's not even on the gas right now. Like,
I was hammered. And like, you picked me up at a picnic table on an empty campsite.
That's what it was. It was an empty.
Yeah.
Didn't your girl, Ashley called me, right? She's like,
Ashley called you and was like, I can't get him to walk back to the campsite. Yeah.
That was great. Those were good times.
I was a mess, and then I passed out in the middle of the campsite on the ground, and Kendra danced over me for like an hour.
Face in the dirt. It was awesome. I actually still think that's my favorite camping trip that I've had.
Oh, it was the best.
So fucking funny, man. Oh, God.
I wish I wasn't with my ex-girlfriend while we were there, but it was awesome.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was a good one. So
I miss camping so much. I cannot wait for stuff to open up again, man. Like, I keep telling everybody here that, like, as soon as the restrictions lift and campsites open for, like, the season, which is, like, apparently going to happen, I assume everything's going to be booked up instantly.
Fast. Yeah, for sure.
But if I can get a site for, like, even just a weekend in August or something, like, I cannot fucking wait.
Yeah. That's sweet, man. Yeah, we're going... we rented a cottage like near Kelowna, like kind of West Kelowna, right on the water. So we haven't been to this one before, so we're trying it out, and
nice.
Hopefully it'll be good. It's like second week of July or something. So
that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, man, pretty excited about it.
I just miss doing things,
Me too. I really want to go back to Europe. That's really where I want to spend my vacation, if I'm being honest. But this year it won't happen. This year, probably do it next May.
Yeah, I'm hoping next year, like me and my friend Brian, we went to Cuba last year, and we had plans to do something again this year, like go somewhere tropical like that for a week. The joke between me and him was like, wouldn't it be funny if we went to Cuba in 2019 and then for 2020 we went to, 2020 we went to Cuba and then 2021 we went to Minnesota or something like ridiculous. Like just some random ass city, and that was like our joke was like Minnesota 2021. But like, yeah, no, I don't know where we'll end up going. I mean, maybe Mexico or something like that, but anywhere where it's all inclusive, where we can eat and drink.
Yeah, you like that. Like the thing for me is like, I'm not a big, like, I don't really like sun a lot.
Yeah.
And like, I really like, I hate beaches. Like, I hate sand. So I'm like Anakin. I just hate sand. I fucking hate sand. I hate it. I hate sand.
I mean,
it gets everywhere.
I'm not a big sand fan either. Like, I don't like swimming. Like, I hate swimming. I'm not
I don't really love swimming either. I like a hot
I like the idea of cooling off swimming.
Me too.
I like a bath. Like, I'll go in have a bubble bath and like,
I love baths.
Fucking love a bath. But hitting it, hey, get over here.
Love a bubble bath.
Yeah, but I don't like swimming in like a body of water because I'm a terrible swimmer.
Me also.
B, I don't trust anything in the ocean or in the water. Like, my number one rule, and Matt knows this, is I don't trust anything with no legs or more than 4 legs. So if you have more than 4 legs, I don't know what you're doing with all those legs. You got to stop, because like, why do you have more than 4 legs? You don't need those many legs. And then if you have no legs, like a snake, I don't know how you're getting around.
I fucking hate snakes.
Same.
I like lizards though, but I hate
it's stupid.
Oh,
but I trust lizards because I can tell what they're doing. They have 4 legs. They know what they're doing. You know where they're going. Snakes, you don't know where they're going.
It's true. Little sidewinders.
Yeah. So like, I hate snakes. Like, snakes is my biggest fear on the planet.
Too. I'm not a fan. I remember we've had some fucking hilarious discussions about snakes. I remember like
I cried in Wheatley because there was a dead snake on the road and I thought it was real. And I started crying because I thought it was a real snake. Side note too, when I moved into my old house, there was a window in my spare bedroom that, like, you know, those windows that like don't stay open, like you have to pin something in the window to keep it from sliding down.
Yeah.
So my mom put a stick from outside in the window at some point to keep it open, and at some point somebody took it out or whatever, and it fell out of the window and dropped under like a dresser, and like a piece of the stick was sticking out from under the dresser. And I went into that room and I thought it was a snake sitting under the dresser. And I started freaking the fuck out. Like, I started freaking out. I'm like, there's a snake in this room. I have to burn down this house. Like, how do I don't know what to do. And yeah, I literally called my parents and was like, I don't know what to do. There's a snake in my spare bedroom. Like, I have to leave.
There's a snake in my boot.
Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, you don't trust snakes. That's the number one rule. That's why you can't go to Australia. I don't trust Australia. There's snakes everywhere. What are you doing?
And you're watching Moose Milk Me.
I'm just saying. Why does everything in Australia want to kill you?
That's a bold
There's
statement.
spiders the size of fucking trees in Australia. What is going on in that country?
It's like Jurassic Park. It's like its own little thing. It's its own little world. It's by itself.
I want to go there really bad. They have great things.
I do too. I couldn't.
I love kangaroos.
Too long. You do.
Kangaroos are amazing. They're cool creatures. They want to kill you, but they look cool.
But they'll put your
everything
head
else in
couch.
that country is poisonous, and they don't like me.
I'd love to go to Australia, but that flight would not. I have bad flight anxiety, and I don't know if I can do that. Yeah, I don't know if I can do it.
I hate flying. Going to Cuba, which is like a 4-hour flight from Windsor, is the longest flight I think I can handle. And I really want to go to Europe. I really want to go to Japan. I'd love to go to Australia, amazing. Even though everything there wants to kill you. I don't think I can do the flight.
Europe is seriously like it's funny how you can enjoy something that you give absolutely no shit about.
Yeah.
Like when I go to London, like Kate is obsessed with like the Royals and like she just loves that stuff, right? Yeah. And it's like I honestly couldn't give a fuck. I bet we spend like 60% of our time there doing touristy stuff around that. But it's like when you're there and you see it, it's just like for me, it's like I can appreciate just like what it is and like how long it's been there and you know what I mean? So it's like I love that stuff. I'd love to go to Mexico, maybe one day, but like we're still not done with Europe, right? Like we want to do like so we were supposed to go last year, 2020. We were supposed to go to Brussels, Paris again, and what was the last place? Amsterdam. But yeah,
Right.
here we are.
Yeah,
So,
I
don't
mean,
know
one
if
of my
that's
best friends was supposed to go to Japan with his wife, and it got delayed, obviously, because of COVID, and then they ended up having a baby. So, like, I think they just ended up getting their money back. But, like, yeah, it's a crazy world where, like, people had all this stuff planned, and then, like, everything got pushed, and, you know, maybe you'll never get that opportunity to go to Japan or Europe or whatever again because life has changed. But,
yeah.
I mean, up in the chat, Alexia Mocha said, come to Mexico. And it's like, yeah, I would love to go to Mexico. Like, it's a place I haven't been. I've been to Cuba and I've been to Jamaica. And then obviously I went out to see with Matt to Vancouver, and then I went back out there again later on to see him. But like, I will literally go anywhere. What's that?
Those pictures came up in my memory from when we saw Newfound Glory.
Yeah, same. I would love to go anywhere. If somebody's like, you know, let's go to Sarnia, Ontario for the weekend, I'd be like, I'm in. Like, I'll go literally anywhere outside of Windsor to just have fun and have, you know, explore and whatever. But like, obviously something like Europe or Mexico or Japan, like something that has actual different things to see, different people, different
when you go there,
it's like
you know you're not at home. Like, it's that's the thing I like about being in Europe. It's like when you get there, you're like, nothing about this is like being at home, and it's like
it's
that's
a culture
what I like.
shock.
Yeah, it is. It's cool. It's really cool.
It's the same as Cuba. Like going to Cuba to see the way their houses are, to see the way they work, they live. Obviously, it's communist, so it's different. But like, even just going on the bus and listening to them talk about like the laws of the country and the way like their education system is, and so on and so forth. Like, it's fascinating. And like, you go to a country and kind of absorb their culture and the way they live it's interesting. It's different. It's something like eye-opening, and I think it really expands your mind as a human. Totally. So, I would love to go to Europe and like explore England and explore, you know, Ireland and
you'd love Ireland probably, and you'd love like honestly, like we did a big tour of Ireland in I think like 2018 maybe or something.
Right.
And like I didn't love it as much as I would have liked to, because the first week me and Kate went to London for a week, and then the second week we met up with her parents and her brother and his girlfriend, and we did like Ireland, and we toured like Ireland, like basically one whole coast top to bottom, like. Right. But the problem is like we were in a car every day. Like we stayed in every city for like one day, and it's like
it's not
the only place we stayed for more than one day was Dublin, and like I fucking loved Dublin. It was so nice. So like I think Dublin would be cool to like go back for like longer. But like when we go to London and stuff, like we like in London, like we fully utilize the transit system. Like like we do full day trips where we'll take like a train like 3 hours away, and then like we'll take the train back, and then like take the subways back. Like we use the subway because like it's we find it like super user friendly in London.
Yeah, my friend Brian and Brett and Sean went there. Well, Sean lived in England for a while, but
oh really?
Yeah, they took the train everywhere because it's just easy to get around and whatever. But like even like something like Iceland, like I'd go to Iceland for a week.
I'd love that.
Just to check it out. Like it's just a weird country, and it's like I 100% would love to see it. I'm not a big cold person. Like I'm a heat person. I like summer. I love warmth. But just to see like the country and the people and everything like that, like you could have such interesting conversations with people that live in the country and just learn about their lives, and that's the fascinating part. It's like just seeing something outside of your normal bubble, you know?
I don't know. I love like it's funny because like when I lived in Windsor, like I'd never even been on a plane before. Right. And then like when I moved to Vancouver, that was the first time I the first time I went to Vancouver to check it out to see if I'd like it. That was the first time I was ever on an airplane. And it's like since I've been there, like I've been to a lot of places. Like I've been to like, 5 different places in Europe. I've been to Costa Rica, we've got to do a lot. We've done Seattle, we've done California, we've done like it's been crazy. Yeah. We've seen a lot.
Well, even like when we drove you to Vancouver.
Yeah.
Like even though we didn't get to like really like see things on the way there, it was cool just to like drive through states and just like see things.
Remember we were debating whether we should go see Mount Rushmore or not?
Yeah. And like I honestly wish we would have, but it was like way out of our way.
Yeah, it was pretty far out of the way.
But like that's the cool things is like seeing something that you would never get to see and maybe never will get to see again. Like my number one thing I want to do is like fly out to Vancouver and me and you go down to like California or something like that.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
And just like even if we can go to like a concert or whatever, it doesn't even really matter what we do. I just think it would be a fun time to just travel with you and see something cool that we both haven't been to or both haven't seen or whatever. Like
the problem would be that it's been so long since you've been here that like I like know here now. It's like it's
yeah.
You know, it's funny. It's like if you came here, like I'd run out of time, like because there's so many things that I would want to show you that like
yeah, sure.
Because you know when you came and saw me last, I think I'd only been here for like a couple years, 2 or 3 years, right? So it's like
more than that probably.
Really?
No,
the second time you came. I think it was only.
I know. I think it's been longer than that.
Oh, maybe, yeah. So like I've been out here for 12 years. So it's like now that I'm out here and have lived in 3 or 4 different spots, it's like I really know my way around the area, right? So it's like
I think the last time I went, you were only in your second place there.
Yeah, maybe.
Because the first time I went, you were in that one place, and then I think the second time
were we in the high rise the second time?
I think so.
The 11th story on the water?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we had just moved there. Okay, yeah. So that's almost 10 years ago.
I don't think it was that long that I went, but
we lived in that place for 8 years. We've been here now for 1.5 years.
Yeah, so it was somewhere in between that, but yeah, like I haven't been out there in probably 5 years, if not more.
Oh, longer than that, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, that when you get here, we'll have the first time it'll have to be here because like I'm gonna want to show you shit. So
oh no, and that's what I mean. Is like anywhere you go, you need more than a week. There's just too much to see.
It's true. It's true.
I wish I had, 5 weeks of vacation a year where I could go, hey, I'm going to go to Europe for a month.
That would be nice. I still have 3 weeks this year. So one of them will be in July and then I'm going to come home for one and work from Ontario, another one. So that'll be 2. And
right.
I have 1 more left, but I might try to hold on to it for next year. Because if I go to Europe next year, I always take 2 weeks for that. So
yeah, for sure. You don't want to go to Europe for a week. I mean,
so it'd be nice to have like another week where I can,
sure,
just have it if my mom comes or somebody comes, right? If you come,
yeah, totally.
So,
yeah, no, I have 1 week. I'm going to Muskoka, and then I have another week left, which I don't know. I'm probably going to save till October or November just to have a break. But
nice.
Yeah. Next year, I definitely plan on, I want to go somewhere. I want to go to Mexico or whatever. I would love to go to Hawaii too. Like Hawaii's definitely on my bucket list.
Yeah, it's on ours too.
It's just really, really expensive flights, and
I'd love to go to Japan.
As far as I know, there's no all-inclusive resorts.
I'd love to go to Japan, but I worry about food because I'm picky. I'm a picky eater and I don't eat seafood. I know that. I'm in good company with you. But what I'm saying is that would be my biggest worry with Japan.
Oh, yeah. And I don't speak a lick of Japanese, so...
Well, that too. But to be honest with you, I've heard it's very intuitive in that, like, a lot of the stuff is really self-explanatory because they're just like, that's how they communicate. It's like, it's not like in Japanese necessarily. It's more in like diagram and stuff like that, right? So I've heard it's really easy to kind of maneuver your way around there without knowing the language and stuff. So I've heard it anyway.
No, and I'm sure it is because it's such an international place, and
because it's such a forward-thinking place technology-wise too, right?
Yeah.
Like
but I remember back in the day, like one of the video game websites I used to read a lot. They would go there for like video game conferences and stuff in Japan, and they would play "Is this fish or not?" because they had no idea what they were ordering in restaurants. And like that's my biggest fear is because I do not eat seafood in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
That goes back to my I don't trust anything in the ocean. So yeah, I do not want to chance eating something random that I don't know what it is. And
I mean, there's
like,
always McDonald's.
yeah, but even McDonald's there has like some fucked up shit.
Yeah, but if you just stick to what you know.
Oh yeah, I'd be like,
you could point out a Big Mac from a fillet of fish, I'm pretty sure.
Give me a goddamn cheeseburger and I'm good to go, you know?
I'll take 8 of those for the road, baby.
Yeah, exactly. I'll take road cheeseburgers and eat them on the way to, you know, whatever we're doing. But yeah, no, I that's my fear. So what, anything you've been watching lately or anything like movie wise or anything?
I haven't been watching, but I've been podcasting and YouTubing a lot lately.
What podcast?
Right now the one I'm like super into is a toy one. It's called They're Not Dolls.
They're Not Dolls?
They're Not Dolls. It's like a toy podcast. So
yeah,
they do like a live one on YouTube every Thursday, and then like it goes up for like a podcast, like without the visual, obviously, like on the Friday. And then they do these things called Quickie Minis on Tuesdays. They used to do it every Monday and Wednesday, where it's just like an hour-long show where they just kind of catch up on toy news. Because like in the toy world, like shit happens like fast all the time. Like honestly, last week I think they've shown like I don't know, like fucking like 10 new figures. It's just like non-fucking stop. It's just right now they're just like spanking our wallets. So it's a lot to keep up on. And when you follow like multiple things, like I like Marvel Hasbro stuff, I like the Star Wars stuff, I like Power Rangers, I like NECA Ninja Turtles and MCU stuff. So it's it's like kind of a lot to like kind of keep up on sometimes, right? So it's like a good spot to go and just get kind of everything all at once, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fun. They're funny. They got, again, like to me, the thing that makes a podcast is like you like if they're for the first thing for me is like I have to like the voices. Like if the voices annoy me,
same.
I can't get into it. But it's like the thing that really sells me on a podcast is like if the people on it have chemistry, and it's like
100%.
You know, any of the ones that I'll name as we're talking about this, like they have that chemistry, right? Like I also love like Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend. Like to me, like Conan and Sona and Matt, that's his assistant and the producer, like they have like sometimes I'd rather just listen to them than have them listen to the guests, because they're just like they pick on each other and it's so fucking funny.
Conan and Sona, like the way they interact,
they're the best.
They have that like almost like brother and sister vibe between them, where they know what
pisses each other
makes each other tick. And they know what bothers the other person, so they can pick at each other in the funniest ways. And like, I mean, I've always been a huge Conan fan. I think Conan's very, very funny. I was also a huge David Letterman fan. But yeah, like Conan, I can't wait to see what he does on HBO after he leaves TBS.
Is he going to HBO? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That's his next spot. Like, I guess he signed some kind of deal with HBO. I don't know what it entails, but
good for him. That's great.
Yeah. So like, I think his show ends on TBS next month, and then I think he's going to continue to do like his podcast and stuff like that. But I don't know when the HBO show starts. But yeah, I think Conan's a very, very funny comedian, and his podcast is great. I haven't listened to it as much this last season, as there's a lot of guests on it that I did not care about and did not know who they were. But I've always thought that him and Sona like just make that podcast. Like even Matt on that. Or
I think Matt. Matt. I think Matt adds a lot to it too.
I agree.
I have to say they've been doing this thing called Conan O'Brien Needs a Fan, and
I've seen a few of them.
Oh my god, they're fucking so funny. They're so funny. He's just really funny in general, but like as soon as you put him with Matt and Sona too, like it's amazing. It's so good.
I agree. I mean, they play up that Sona is just like his like assistant or whatever, but like the fact that she has that kind of comedic chop, like I don't know if she just got that like through Conan or if she's actually a comedian that like just I don't know, but like She
I'm
is
sure being
funny,
around
man.
Conan and stuff, like, because I think a lot of things that make her funny is like her timing's really good. So it's
The
like
timing is amazing.
I feel like that's a lot of that's probably picked up from just being with Conan for 11 years or whatever.
Yeah, maybe. I
Like,
don't know, but like
that's not to say she's not funny. I'm sure she is funny too. But I
if
mean,
she did like a live show just her talking about shit, I would go see that because I think she's
yeah,
funny enough where
me
she
too.
could do like a standalone live show, and I'd be like, yeah, man, I'd pay money to watch her like talk about like weird experiences working for Conan and like stuff like just her thoughts and her views on things. Like I find her a very very funny person. It's the same as
Yeah, me too.
Carl Pilkington from Ricky Gervais. Like I don't know if you ever watch any of the Ricky Gervais podcasts.
No,
I'm a huge fan of Ricky Gervais,
Yeah, I know
but
you are.
Carl Pilkington is like his like I don't know his friend and like helped produce some of his movies, I guess, or I don't know worked on with him on some of his stuff. And he's this like weird dude, and very 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 funny. And like it's just his viewpoints on things are like so out of left field that like I highly recommend. It's the Ricky Gervais show they did as a podcast, and then they made it like an animated 30-minute
YouTube?
show on HBO.
Oh,
Highly
okay.
recommend that. And then they did like a standalone show called fuck, I can't even think of what it's called right now. But it was it was Carl seeing like things in the world. They brought Carl to different countries and different things to make him like see different things. And fuck, is that show funny, man? Like you'll cry laughing during that show. It reminds me a lot of that. Like Conan and Sona's relationship reminds me a lot of Ricky and Carl's relationship.
Okay.
They pick at each other. They know what makes each other tick.
Yeah, that's there's a lot of fun in that in me, like for me. So like, and even with that, like that toy, they're not dolls. It's like they call it like the toy amigos. So it's like it's a huge like toy community, right? It's pretty cool.
Sure.
But yeah, same with them. It's like they just the two hosts. They had a third one who just kind of took like a leave, kind of for the summer. But like the three of them now, just the two of them have like really really good chemistry, and it's just like they always rip on the one guy Adam because he wears like V-necks all the time, and they're like constantly ripping on him for like and for being short and stuff, and it's just like it's super funny, right? So it's just
I mean, I think that's why our podcast works as well as it does.
Yeah, well, it's for us. It's just like us just getting a chance to talk and like be
that, and we know each other well enough where we can pick up on things that you would enjoy and I would enjoy, and bouncing things off each other. And we know that something you say or something I say is not going to be offensive to the other. Like once you're comfortable with that other co-host, you can kind of find that balance of like what works and what doesn't work because we've been friends for 15, 20 years, and
well, we know each other well, so
yeah, exactly. So it really works itself out. And it's the same as one of my favorite podcasts is Last Podcast on the Left, which is like a true crime / I don't know, supernatural podcast. It's very comedic based. Like they're all comedians. They're very, very funny, but it's very well researched into like very famous serial killers and true crime cases, but also like touches on like supernatural / like aliens, ghosts, that kind of stuff. But they've been friends for a long time, so they automatically know what it makes each other tick and can bounce off each other things and like not offend each other by making a jab at the other person or whatever, and it makes it fun. So that's one of my favorite podcasts. Like I listen to that.
What's it called again?
Last two episodes on the left? A week. So
what's it called again?
Last Podcast on the Left. It's exclusive to Spotify now.
Oh, nice.
It never used to be, but they do a thing called Side Stories, which is basically just two of the three of them doing random true crime stories of the week, like just random ass stories out of like whatever state or whatever country that pop up. Some guy jerking off in shoes in Florida or whatever the fuck. That was literally a story like 2 weeks ago, but
weird.
Yeah, but like the Friday episode is there's like real episode, the real like true crime episode. Yeah. And they generally do like deep dives. They've done like most of the heavy hitters, like they've done stuff on Dahmer and Charles Manson and so on and so forth. But they also do like random, alien stories or abduction stories or, ghost stories or whatever, hauntings, so on and so forth. They're very out there, but it's cults, all that kind of stuff. But, that cult show that you recommended me last week.
Yeah.
Fucking so good, dude.
We never went back to it. We actually didn't really watch. Kate got sucked in. She's rewatching Mad Men right now. So it's like, and I don't know. It's like I can kind of jump in and out of it, but it's just like, I don't know. It's just not really, I don't really dig it. I find it very dry. I don't really love John Hamm, if I'm really being honest. Like, I kind of find his arrogance kind of, he's like super dickish, and I just like, I don't know. I just don't really enjoy him.
It's that toxic masculinity type thing that like I can't vibe with. Like, I've never been that macho.
I was just gonna say it may have something to do with the fact that like growing up, like that was like that was the kind of person that picked on me all the time. So it's like
same.
I have a hard time being like, this guy's cool. It's like
I don't relate to him in any way. The whole like I like Mad Men. I think it's a really well written show. I watched I think the first 2.5 or 3 seasons.
Yeah, because you like Elizabeth Moss, right? So
yeah. I just found it very, very hard to get through. I found the episodes became more of a chore to watch than like.
I think that's why I bounced too, because I remember watching most of maybe not most. I bet you I watched like 3/4 of the first season with Kate, kind of like at least enough to be catching what was going on, but it just didn't connect. So
it's very, very hard to watch for me. It's too dialogue heavy and not that that's a bad thing. I think if it's really witty, it would be different. But it's very like 60s male. I'm going to cheat on my wife and drink and all that shit. Where I'm like, I don't relate to these people. I don't like these people. I don't find them interesting. And that's where it kind of loses me. But Mad Men, sorry, Big Boy Kai. We're talking about Mad Men.
We're just talking about anything tonight. It's just kind of like free balling here.
Yeah, we're hopping topic to topic.
We were talking about the MCU, then we were talking about traveling, and now we're talking about Mad Men.
No topic this week. Anything goes. Matt could ask me to take my shirt off and show my nips, and I would do it just for him.
And it would be nipple time.
No, I watched that documentary, that cult documentary. I watched the whole thing that night. I love cults. I think they're super fascinating. So I watched all that. I've been watching old seasons of The Challenge. I'm a huge reality show fan. So
yes, you are.
I'm a huge The Challenge fan on MTV. So I watched 2 seasons of that this week, just between work and it's an easy show to throw on while you're eating dinner or whatever. So I watched both episodes of that, or both 2 seasons of that, and then I'm waiting for to watch the new Saw movie and the new Conjuring movie, and then obviously Loki next week and then vacation. So it's gonna be a busy couple weeks.
I'm gonna be busy too. We're at work. I'm doing a big I'm gonna be in store for most of the next couple weeks, and then I have to go out of town for a couple weeks, or not a couple weeks. Gotta go out of town for a week probably. So
no, it's gonna be a good few weeks, and the weather's finally nice, and
that's nice.
Yeah, I mean, this is my favorite time of year. When you can drink outside in shorts and sandals, that's Ryan time.
I think I like the fall the best still, but I like layers, especially as I get fatter. I'm like, layers are good.
I want to wear as little clothes as possible at all times. I just
pictured you in a Borat green bikini.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not confident enough to wear that, but I hate wearing sweatshirts and jackets and pants. I
don't like wearing it if I'm sweating my balls off, but if I'm I like it in the fall. I like to be able to go out wearing a hoodie and a sweater or something like that.
I mean, I will if it's just necessary, I'll wear a hoodie, but if I can wear a t-shirt and shorts at all times, if I could live in a state or a country or wherever that just required shorts and a t-shirt, that would be my year-round get-up.
Yeah, Vancouver is good for that. You would probably be fine with shorts in the winter here. I mean, we do have some cold days, but not like you're away. Like that's the thing is like me now, I'm declimatized, right? So it's like when I go home in the summer to Ontario and I'm sitting in someone's house and they have air conditioning on, like I'm freezing my dick off because like we don't have air conditioning here. Like that's not a thing in BC. Like,
well, you'll be happy at my house because I don't use air conditioning.
like I think of times when I went to Mike's house or like I went to Craig's house and like
it's
or
like
even
70
just being
degrees,
at my parents' house. Like honestly, like in the summer, I need to bring winter clothes just to live at home because like my place does not get that cold ever, like ever.
Big boy Kai said Hawaii is good for you then, and then he also said
I wanted to bring that up because I'm curious on your. I don't follow The Conjuring at all, so I don't even know what the fuck any of it is. I know.
So he said this probably isn't a popular opinion, but I kind of feel like they're milking The Conjuring. I agree with you. The problem is The Conjuring is based off of the Warrens case files, right? So for people that don't know, the Warrens were they're both dead now. Were these like paranormal researchers that actually existed. This is what the Conjuring movies are based off of. This couple actually existed. They were basically investigated like paranormal stuff in like the 70s, 80s, so on and so forth. From everything that I've read about them, they're basically con artists. Like they basically used the situations of people saying that their stuff, they had ghosts or they had paranormal activity, and figured out ways to make money off of it. I don't believe in the paranormal. I don't believe in ghosts. I'm an atheist.
Really?
I don't believe in any of that stuff. But I find it terrifying. The idea of something haunting you that you can't protect yourself from is a very scary idea to me, especially with kids. Like kids in scary movies where they're like staring at shit or like holding knives or any of that stuff. Like it freaks me out. I don't like it.
Or when it crawls like a spider.
Yes, that kind of stuff freaks me out too.
If its legs all fell off and it slithered at you like a snake.
Terrifying. That's my worst case scenario.
That is the worst case scenario. Straight back to the rule. It has, what is it?
Anything without legs, I don't trust. But most babies have legs. That's the problem.
It's true.
Yeah. But no, I don't know if the new Conjuring movie is very good. Like, I wasn't a huge fan of the second Conjuring movie, to be honest with you. I think it was fine. I don't think it was like phenomenal. I think the first Conjuring movie is a very, very, very good horror film. The Nun and the Annabelle movies, I think, are hit and miss. La Llorona, I thought was okay. It had jump scares, but it wasn't very like, it didn't do anything that was bewildering to me. I think a lot of the premises of the movies are terrifying. I just don't think that they're very amazingly done. Like, I don't think they're doing anything to reinvigorate the genre or anything like that. I'm excited to see the new Conjuring movie. I think Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson are both fantastic actors. I'm very excited to see it. The Grudge is the reason I'm terrified of little girls. Yeah, fuck. The Grudge is notorious for that. Like, yeah,
The Grudge is creepy as fuck. But I thought the Ring. The Ring.
Yeah, The Ring too.
For the longest time. Oh my god.
The first Ring movie, like the American
the second one,
movie,
doesn't even really register for me because I don't really give a shit. Like it didn't do anything to me like the first Ring did.
Yeah.
That's like, we talked about this during our favorite movies. That's like Blair Witch too, though, right? Like, it's funny how many people were like, that wasn't scary. And I'm like, what did you just watch, man? Like, that shit is fucking terrifying. Like,
the Blair Witch terrified the shit out of me.
Yeah, me too.
But I also love camping.
Right.
And so being in the middle of a forest and like being lost.
Yeah, it's so familiar to you, right? Yeah.
it really relates to me where like I can put myself in that situation at night in the forest and be scared.
Yeah, totally.
I think Blair Witch 2 is an abomination to movies.
Yeah,
and the remake / like whatever it was called, the Blair Witch that came out like, I don't know, 2016, 2015, whatever the hell it was. It was fine. It wasn't really a Blair Witch movie, but it was fine as a sequel. I still think that probably the best horror film that came out in the last like decade or so is The Conjuring, but I'm not really scared easily anymore. Like, I've seen enough horror films where most premises of horror films don't really freak me out. Jump scares always get you because all of a sudden it's really quiet and then you hear a loud noise. Of course you're going to jump. Anybody would jump. That's not a scary film. That's just a loud noise freaking you out.
Yeah.
It's like somebody coming up behind you and going boo when you don't expect them to be there. Like, that's not a horror film. That's not scary. That's just somebody's freaking you out. But,
yep.
To actually be scared, like the last movie that really freaked me out was probably Paranormal Activity 2.
Those were pretty scary movies.
Yeah, watching that in theaters as somebody that is terrified of like hauntings and stuff like that, even though I don't really believe in them, but like I said, like the idea premise, of a haunting freaked me out. Paranormal Activity 2 freaked me out. Like in theaters, I was very tense during that movie. I remember my palms being like sweaty watching that film in theaters. Fun fact that I don't think I've ever said on this podcast, but if you buy, I don't know if it's still a fact, but, if you buy the Paranormal Activity DVD or Blu-ray, I don't know, I'm in the credits on that movie.
You are?
Yeah, because they did like a fan thing where to get it in theaters, you had to go online and like promote it. And I signed up to promote it. To get it in like Windsor theaters, and as a thank you, they put you in the credits. So if you watch Paranormal Activity, in the credits they list like 100,000 names really quickly. Like it just goes like down the screen really quickly. But if you pause it, you'll see my name in there.
Oh, I know what I'm doing tonight.
We're all doing that tonight, baby.
No, I see it, and I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, there it is.
But yeah, no, I don't know. I love horror films. I'll go see every horror film. I have a feeling the new Saw film is probably hog shit. It's getting really bad reviews, but I'll watch it.
I didn't hear it was great.
Yeah, I heard it was really bad, but whatever. I'll watch it. I'll give it a whirl.
Give it a whirl and see what it's like.
Yeah.
Let's see what else have I been watching?
Oh, after our live music podcast, all I've done this week is listen to live music.
Oh, really?
Oh my god, constantly.
I saw Bleachers is putting out a new album at the end of July, and they're doing this thing where they're going to do like a Spotify live session, and they're going to play a set on their tour bus, like while they're driving or like on the road kind of thing, but it's going to be like a live. Yeah.
I didn't even know they were still a band.
Bleachers?
Yeah.
Yeah. They haven't put anything out over, like they put out 2 albums, so.
Right.
But yeah, I really like, again, like it's just like Steel Train, right? When we talked about albums, like, yeah, Jack, the main guy there is like, he's such a good writer, and he's just like, I love his music. So Bleachers is like, yeah, right up there for me too. I really like it. And he just put out a new single, and it's good. I like it. I think we're in for a lot of new like live albums. Yeah. Like I think every band that their next tour, they're going to record a date during their next tour to put out as a live album. Like, I think in the next 2 to 3 years, we're going to get so much music that we're going to be shocked by. I think there's going to be a lot of good music, because the thing is the last year gave a lot of people a lot of downtime.
A lot of time to write things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I can imagine that even, I hate to say that, like, it sucks that good music comes from people suffering sometimes.
Oh,
but like,
it always does.
But like, and I hate to say that, like, that's why we're going to get good music. But like, a lot of people have faced some pretty dark shit in the last year. And 100%. Like, I really feel like that's going to be coming out in the music probably, in the next 6 to 8 months.
I agree. I think by the end of 2022,
but I mean,
we're going to get a lot of new albums, a lot of new tours, a lot of live albums, a lot of stuff. Like, I think a lot of bands are going to put out their best album in the next year, Yeah. I think a lot of bands are holding off releasing a lot of new stuff because they want to wait until they can tour off it. But, I think a lot of bands probably have stuff in the pipeline that are ready to go, Yeah,
totally.
Like,
I feel bad for any of the bands that were just getting ready to release something when COVID started, right?
Yeah. Well, like Foo Fighters put a new album out that was supposed to come out right as COVID started, and they delayed it a year, and then COVID was still a thing, so they just put it out.
They put it out.
I think a lot of bands were in that situation where they're probably their studios and whatever were saying delay this album until you can tour off it, make money off of it.
Yeah.
But at some point you got to just put the thing out because you want to move on to the next thing. So I think we're gonna get a lot of albums that studio pressure pushed.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too.
And like Red Hot Chili Peppers apparently have like an album ready to go.
Oh, nice.
And I'm stoked for that. Like, a lot of the bands I love, like, I think have an album ready to go probably and just have waited until the time's right to,
to do it.
Put out, whatever to promote it. But, yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to go see live music again. Like, it feels like it's been forever. Like, even when I was messaging you earlier, the fact that we're going 2 years between an MCU film is like insane.
Crazy. It's wild, man. That's totally wild.
Like from Spider-Man Far From Home to Black Widow, it's going to be 2 years and a week between films. And like, if you would have told me that 4 or 5 years ago that we're going to wait 2 years to the next film, I would have laughed at you. I'm like, there's no way this train's ever going to stop,
Yeah, it's crazy. But like, it's like I've said before about the MCU is like, the timing on this like really sucks because it's like I feel like it's easy for a lot of casual viewers, like not the super fans, to like jump off at this point. It's a natural jumping off point. Captain America's gone, Iron Man's gone, Black Panther's gone, and it's like you're getting like all these main characters. Nat's gone, and it's an easy point to just be like, all right, I'm good.
But I also think there's the opposite side of that if you were getting tired of those films, if you were like, man, I'm worn out on comic book films. I've seen every comic book film and like they've beaten this genre into the ground. I think a 2-year break was like exactly what some people needed of like, oh, I'm ready for a new comic book film, Yeah,
that I'm sure it works in that way too. Yeah.
And, outside of like Wonder Woman 1984, we really haven't gotten anything in the last 2 years, like really. We got the Zack Snyder, Justice League thing, but like we really haven't gotten anything. So I honestly think that if Black Widow comes out and theaters are all open in the US, this movie's gonna make a fuck ton of money.
Yeah. Well, again, the good thing they have working for this out of all the releases is, yes, I know it's in a little bit of a way kind of irrelevant because it's in the past. I'm sure it won't be. I'm sure it'll still shape the future in some ways. I don't doubt that. But the nice thing is like it's a good re-entry point because it's a familiar face, right? So it's and it's like your time as like a send-off, right? So it's like it's going to be a send-off, so it's going to be like probably emotional. It's going to be it's going to hit you in the feels,
But also two things is like I think, they ended the Infinity Stone saga or whatever you want to call it. And that was like the cap off to that whole 23 film arc. Yeah. So this kind of like starts the next arc. It was a 2-year break, but we get to start the next arc. But also, I think a lot of people working from home or being stuck in the house with kids signed up for Disney Plus and was like, yeah, we'll check out WandaVision, we'll check out, Falcon and Winter Soldier, we'll check out Loki, and now they're back in hyped for the next big Marvel film. So I think in a way, I think this was advantageous for Disney. It was like, if you're tired of the MCU, tired of action films, tired of comic book films, whatever the case may be, you're ready to hop back in at this point. But it's also a great starting off point of, hey, maybe you've missed some films or maybe you never were a huge fan of those films, but this is a new entry point where we can hook you back in. I really do think like if theaters are open and if this movie can get a wide release, I think it's going to make a lot of money.
I don't know if theaters are open here right now. I'm assuming they're not there, right?
Theaters are not open here. Maybe they will be by July. I won't go to a theater regardless. I will, rent it from home with friends or whatever the case may be. But I think regardless, it doesn't matter. Canada's not a huge enough market where it matters. But
Yeah.
if the U.S., if most states have theaters open,
I'm pretty sure most states do have theaters open. Pretty sure they do. I'm pretty sure most do. Like one of the other podcasts I listened to, the Weekly Planet, they were talking about how what movie was it? Something that recently came out in theaters. It's not comic book, but it's slipping my mind. But anyway, I remember them saying that the theater like sales or whatever, ticket sales were like really, really good. So it's like now, as soon as that happened, it's like they noticed a bunch of like of the studios kind of stepping away from like the streaming shared streaming and theater date kind of thing, right? So it's like it looks like they're going to try to capitalize on everybody wanting to go back to the theater.
Well, you got to remember is these studios aren't doing that for our benefit.
No, I know that.
They're not putting things out day and date on HBO Max or Netflix or whatever the case may be. They're not doing that for our benefit. They're doing it to make money. If they can charge you $30 from home to see a thing that they've been sitting on for a year, that's the way they're going to make money.
Well, the thing is, that's $30 in their pocket. That's no middleman. That's no theater.
Right. And that's what I'm saying is there's nothing they've done in the last year that was anything than corporate greed. They want to make money. So, no, I'm not, disparaging them for that.
No, me neither.
These movies are,
expensive
hundreds of millions of dollars to produce and make. They want to make their money back, and I understand that. But, don't think this was like, a favor to us to watch from home. As soon as they know that they can make money in theaters, they're going to stop doing, movies from home. They're going to push the theater again. So
I agree.
I would hope that they keep, if you want to rent it from home, you can, and if you want to see it in theaters, you can. But
apparently, Shang-Chi's not going to have that option.
Yeah, Shang-Chi's not, which means The Eternals is not.
Yeah, I agree.
So, and Spider-Man definitely won't. By December, they're going to hope that worldwide theaters are open. So
the thing that's weird though is Spider-Man won't be able to stream on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I know, and
Sony
it's very bizarre to me.
I don't think anyway.
It's going to be on Netflix.
Oh, nice.
Because Sony reached a deal with Netflix that all Sony pictures are going to Netflix first.
Right, that's right.
I find that very bizarre. I don't know why Disney would let that deal happen to me.
Yeah. Seems weird.
You want everything in one place. I don't get it. Sony is really harping that Venom 2 is leading into like a Spider-Man tie-in. And Venom 2, like they keep pushing Venom 2 is a great movie, and I just don't understand it. I don't see it. The trailer was god awful.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're seeing we're not.
I hope that we're wrong.
I agree.
Hope that Venom 2 is amazing. But based on the trailer, I'm sorry, that they went the wrong way. They took all the shit that was horrible about round one and they brought it back and amplified it. It's like, oh, you guys loved Eddie jumping in the lobster tank and eating a lobster's head off?
We're going to do it again.
Let's do that 10 times over.
Yeah.
Like,
it seems like it's a paint by numbers version of making a film, right? Like, it seems like Sony. Production and studio heads get involved in these films where they're like, oh, that would be funny. Fans really like that. And you got to put that in the movie. And that's how you end up getting like a Jurassic Park 3.
Right.
It's like, oh, people love the T-Rex in Jurassic Park 1 and 2. We got to have a bigger version than the T-Rex. Let's put this dinosaur in. Yep. And it's like, that doesn't make a good movie.
Yeah, it's true. We don't need a bigger T-Rex to make this a better movie. We just need a good story that makes sense.
Exactly.
Not raptors talking. Like, they might as well have been texting each other.
Yeah, and then that's what I mean. Is like, a good Venom movie without Spider-Man doesn't really work to me. Like, Venom and Spider-Man need to be together for a good Venom movie.
Yeah, I
agree. Tom Hardy is a great actor. I don't really love what he did with Venom. I think he's fine. I think Tom Hardy's very charismatic. I don't think his Venom is anything to like brag about. I think he looks cool as Venom. I think the CGI is really well done.
Yeah, me too. I think Venom on screen looks great. Yeah,
I think the writing's really piss poor.
Yeah, it's really bad.
does Venom 2 give me hope in any way? No, I think the trailer was bad. I think
Yeah.
Morbius looks really bad.
Yeah, I agree. Did you hear about Aaron Taylor Johnson getting cast as Craven?
Yeah, I don't understand it.
It's a weird casting.
Why would you pick him? Listen, he's a great actor. There's hundreds of actors in the world.
Yep.
Why are you picking these same guys to play roles in the same genre of film? It's like taking Andrew Garfield and being like, oh, we're going to put him in the next Spider-Man movie as Electro or like whatever. Like, it's like, there's other actors, man. Like, come on, pick somebody different. I don't get it. I don't get it. To me, it's find somebody else, man. He's a great actor, but there's hundreds of other actors out there. Find somebody else.
Have you happened to come across any of the rumors about No Way Home? Or
is that what it's called?
Isn't that what I don't know what it's called. No Way Home.
Isn't that what the last one was called?
No, last one was Far From Home, isn't it?
Oh, right.
And the first one was.
They gotta get off this stupid home thing.
Hopefully after this one.
I read rumors. Yeah, I mean, obviously.
Did you see that one about? Did you see that one about the Sinister Six?
Yeah, yeah.
And how they're supposed to like pull the villains from the Toby and the Garfield movies or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, the rumor is that they're doing Sinister Six. Green Goblin's going to be the main villain. Dr. Octopus is in it, and then all the people that they've introduced, like Vulture and...
No. I heard it's not the MCU characters. I heard
they're in it.
Oh, I'm sure they're probably in it, but the Sinister Six apparently exists. It's supposed to be like Sandman, Doc Ock, Green Goblin, Rhino, which is horrible, Lizard, and Electro. Yeah.
Yeah. I heard that basically everything that they've ever introduced in
the Sony Spider-Man movies? In
Spider-Man movies is going to be involved in some form.
It's wild.
Andrew Garfield has come out and said, like, he's not involved, which I don't believe. Emma Stone came out and said she's not reprising Gwen Stacy in these roles. I don't believe it.
Alfred, the guy who plays Doc Ock, is just like, oh, yeah, I'm Doc Ock.
Yeah.
Did you see that? He's just like, he's full on, just like, yeah, I'm in it. Yeah, of course. We're just picking up where we left off.
I can't believe I have his name on the tip of my tongue.
William Molina or something?
Alfred Molina.
Albert Molina, there you go. I've been great with names.
Yeah, he blatantly said he's in the movie. Andrew Garfield said he's not. He wasn't even asked to do it. I'm like, I don't believe any of this. I assume that it's going to be a small part of the movie. I assume that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire will be in it in some form, but I don't think it's going to be like a full on role.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's hard to say, right? But
I think it would be very much like Into the Spider-Verse, the animated film, where he'll be in a segment of the film where he's in that universe, he's fighting a character in that movie, he's gonna, go through a portal or something into the next universe where it's Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, he's gonna be fighting Doc Ock or something like that.
Yeah.
He's gonna go back into his world, and then somehow the villains of those worlds are gonna come and form into his world. And he's going to be fighting like the Sinister Six at the end of the film. And you think he's going to get beaten down or screwed over or whatever the case may be. And then all of a sudden, Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire are going to swing in. And like, it's going to be a 3 Spider-Man versus the Sinister Six. That's
what I see ultimately happening too. Yeah, I ultimately see that being the direction they go.
Not that I don't think that's going to be really exciting. I just think, I don't know where you go from there after that though. Like, to me, the only
thing is
place...
you could ground it. Like, because the thing is like, this could kind of cap off, like, the high school years. Then you can move on to him kind of being, like, a bit older and a bit more mature, like, college or whatever, right? And, like...
Well, my assumption is where they want to go with it is Venom.
Yeah, I honestly hope that we don't have to deal with that.
My assumption is Spider-Man 4 is going to be a straight-up Venom Spider-Man crossover. Like, I feel like that's what Sony wants as a setup is...
Here's the thing, is if Kevin Feige's involved...
Yeah.
Fine. Honestly, like, he will keep them on a tight leash. So, like, I don't worry, like, that much about that stuff, right? Like, I can't ever imagine that he would loosen his grip on a world that he's created.
I agree.
Just to play nice with a company that like doesn't like they don't need him. Like I know it would suck to not have Spider-Man, but it's not like we don't have 300 new characters coming in the next year and a half.
So we know that Tom Holland is in the Uncharted movie, which is a movie based off
Nathan
the
Drake
video game, right?
Yeah.
That movie apparently is really bad.
That's what I heard too.
Really, really bad. Like to the point where Tom Holland has basically come out and said that movie's really bad.
I heard that.
So my assumption is that movie's probably not going to get a sequel, even though Sony really wants to make that a new franchise.
Yes, I know that, yeah.
If it does get a franchise and it does get a sequel, which that movie may make money because there's a lot of fans of that video game, I could definitely see Tom Holland stepping away from Spider-Man for a while to do Uncharted 2. And then when the next Avengers comes out, Tom Holland is in that as the last Spider-Man role. I think Sony is going to really, or MCU is really going to push Kevin Feige, Disney, whatever the case may be. I think they're really, really going to push to leave these characters that we've known behind to move on to the next phase of all these new characters.
Yep, I do too.
And that's mostly, I think, financially. I don't think they want to pay these actors 40, 50, whatever $million to reprise these roles time and time again. I think they're going to find the next new young actor to pay whatever.
But that makes sense too, right? If they want to stay relevant, they need to stay fresh with talent too, right? Like now that Robert Downey Jr. is not Iron Man.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Who's Robert Downey Jr. now? Like Dr. Dolittle or whatever, right? So it's like, man, well,
I'm just saying. I think they're going to start pushing X-Men. They're going to start pushing Fantastic Four.
I do too.
Those are the next two big series that they're going to start pushing.
Yeah.
Obviously, I assume this is going to be the last time we see Thor, as in God and Thunder. What's his face? I can't think of his name right now. That's directing Guardians has said this is the last Guardians film that he's doing.
Yeah, that he's doing. Yeah. The thing is like again, you don't have to kill these characters. You can just kind of let them live off, and 15 years down the line, then old man Chris Pratt can come back and
I'm not saying
Star-Lord reborn. Yeah, no, I know you're not.
I think they're just going to slowly stop doing these films and move to the next phase. So I think, Spider-Man's going to end. I think Thor's going to end. I think, Guardians is going to end, and they're going to start moving into X-Men, Fantastic Four. Yes. They're going to push Miss Marvel. They're going to push, She-Hulk, Natalie Portman as the new Thor, all these things.
They're setting up to replace all of the key Avengers. Right. We're still going to have a Hulk and Jennifer Walters. We're still going to have a Hawkeye and Ashley Barton. We're still going to have an Iron Man well, I bet you War Machine doesn't stick around much, but like I wouldn't be surprised if they did Ironheart, which is Riri Williams.
Right. Well, they are doing Ironheart. It's already announced.
Oh, there you go. See, so yeah, it's just a matter of time.
It's going to be a Disney Plus show.
Yeah, so it's just a matter of time, right? So they're gonna keep all those key people.
Right. They're gonna keep the names of the characters, but it's gonna be new actors as a different character, but as the same character.
Yes. And just the same mantle, right? It's the same. Yeah.
They're obviously diversifying the cast, which is great, which is cool.
Yep,
I have no problem with that. Like obviously, even with Black Panther, like they're gonna have to figure out what they're doing with Black Panther and all that. Yeah, I think the next Avengers movie is going to be a very different cast of Avengers. It's not going to be anything we know.
But that'll be enough probably to refresh it. You know what I mean? It's
like and that's what I mean. I think they're going for the full refresh.
Yeah.
And then the next phase, you're going to see the next, Fantastic Four, X-Men, Blade, all these new characters start entering, what they want to do with Deadpool. All these characters start entering. And that's where Avengers is going to start taking. That's where the MCU is going to start going. And then wherever it goes, the Eternals. Obviously, all these actors they got for the Eternals isn't going to be a fucking one-off. They're going to be signed for 3, 4, 5 films.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure they've already committed to round 2. Like, they've already signed the work. Yeah. So.
Right. So, that's where it's going is this is the end of Thor. Like, obviously, my assumption is they've signed Natalie Portman to reprise female Thor in the next 2 or 3 films.
Yep.
So
so there you go.
you got Tatiana Maslany that's going to be She-Hulk.
Jennifer Walters.
She's going to be in probably a standalone Hulk movie, I would assume, or She-Hulk movie, and then
I would assume
in the next Avengers.
Yep. Then you got Sam as Cap, right? So that's great too.
Right, Sam as Cap. You're going to have Ms. Marvel show, and then she's going to be, whatever.
In the Marvels or whatever.
Yeah, in the Marvels movie.
And Photon too, and Monica Rambeau too.
Yeah, so they're setting up all these new characters where it's going to be like a new young cast, and that's great. That's cool.
I agree.
But yeah, I mean, I don't really know what else they can really do with the characters they had anyway. Like their stories have been told.
Yeah, I agree. We've seen them go through quite a bit, right? So
so I think it just makes sense to.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for a round of fresh talent for sure.
Sure, and I think it. Like I said, like the diversity of the cast when you have, more female-led characters or black-led characters or whatever the case may be, it brings new people in and lets everybody relate to a different character, which just makes that many more fans jump into the story. So I think that's their hope is like, now we're going to even bring in new people that haven't gotten into the Avengers or haven't gotten into any of the MCU this far, and this just brings in a whole new fandom, and we have young people that are getting to age 7, age 8, age 10, whatever the case may be, where now they're just jumping into comic books, they're just jumping into the MCU, and
it's a whole new audience, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it just keeps going, just more stuff keeps coming on top. So,
well, the cool thing about the MCU as it continues to grow is these movies that are older, like, they may not necessarily appeal to maybe some of the newer audiences that are coming in, but the nice thing is the lore that's left from behind, like from them, will like still stand true to like now, right? Like that's going to be the cool thing about watching the MCU grow is like you're going to be watching a movie, 15 years into the MCU. And something comes up and it's referencing something that happened in year one. Like even look at Shang-Chi is a really good example of that. They're anchoring Shang-Chi with the 10 Rings, which was first mentioned the first MCU or like the first Iron Man movie, right? So it's like
everything's canon.
Yeah, it's cool. Like it's really cool to have that tie-in. So
no, I totally agree. And I think that was Star Wars' biggest problem, right? Is they've changed what's canon and what's not canon so many times that it shifts people out of being a fan where when everything is involved, everything is canon. I mean, obviously they're pushing away the Netflix Marvel shows.
Yes.
But
they already have. They put them in a separate category on Disney. Or like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is in with like X-Men. It's in like legacy content or something.
I have a feeling like the rumor is that Daredevil's going to be in the next Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then these characters aren't really non-canon anymore. They're just being shifted into a different form of canon,
Yep.
So
stories will be retold and
they're just like I hope that that's not the last we see of Punisher.
I heard that the ones that are being saved are Jessica Jones, Daredevil, and Punisher.
Yeah, that's the rumor. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
which is awesome. That's the 3 that I would want saved.
I agree. Those are the ones that I have nothing against. I mean, I didn't really love Iron Fist at all, but like,
I thought Iron Fist was really bad.
I didn't actually mind Mike Coltier or whatever his name is as.
Oh, I think he did good as the character.
But I think if they redid it, it was slow and it was if they could redo that and like especially right now, right? Like honestly, like there would be such a huge demand for like and I know I'm not the one to be saying this, but like I'm living in the world, so I'll say it because I've seen it. But like, how good would it be to have something like Black empowerment in like a bigger way than being like in the hood and like the way they did the Netflix Luke, right? Like again, it was fine, but it was just like it wasn't super compelling, and like I feel like they could really play to like the origins of Power Man of Luke Cage, where he was like fighting for right and like. I feel like they could do really good with that, right? Especially in the world we're living in now, sadly.
Well, look at Falcon, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like Falcon did great, and I think that was a really cool story. So if you did that more low key of like just like a small, a small town, small part of New York where Iron Fist is or any of these characters that are low key that are just in a part of New York. Like, I think you could do really cool things with them. But yeah, like I think you just have to shift it into a well-written show and change it. You can keep the same actors, just shift it to Disney Plus with a better, well-written show.
Yeah.
And you're good to go.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, I think we should probably call it a night just because I feel like we could literally talk about this for like another 3 hours. So
yeah, 90 minutes in, that's good.
I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, we could talk all night, but anyway, yeah. Next week obviously will be Loki. Like I said, it will be the new Hulk series coming out.
I don't really know
or
anything.
the Disney Plus show.
I'm assuming he needs a Disney Plus show.
All I know is it's on Disney Plus, and Tatiana Maslany is going to be She-Hulk.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we've got heavily speculated rumors that Mark Ruffalo will at least be in the series.
Cameo of some sort.
Of some kind, yeah.
And didn't they say Abomination was going to be a part of it too?
Oh, I think they made Tim Roth, right?
Yeah.
That would be really good. I'm pretty sure you're right. I'm pretty sure he was mentioned.
Yeah. But I'm not positive of anything more than that. But Tatiana Maslany was in a really good show. I can't think of what it's called right now. Yeah, Orphan Black. Yeah. She was the lead actress in Orphan Black. If you have not seen comics, I don't know.
Oh, I don't know the comics either. Yeah, sorry. Not my area of expertise. I kind of fell out of love with the comics when they kept changing them every like fucking 12 episodes. Like, hey, it's X-Men #1. I'm reading X-Men 13. You're starting over again? Like, you just fucking restarted. Like, that's
my problem with it too.
Yeah, but it's not like it used to be where it's like X-Men 197. Oh, yeah, we're talking about this, and you could learn more about that in X-Men 15. And you're like, oh, dude, that's a crazy callback. But it's like now it's like you could never do that. The series literally lasts like 9 months, and it's like, all right, we're gonna restart. Like, cool. Just what we need. A new direction. Just getting going.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I'm the wrong person to ask for comic stuff. I haven't been into super deep into the comics in a long time. It's not my forte anymore.
Same here. I spend all my time customizing.
Yeah. But thanks for watching. I appreciate your comment. Anyway, so next week we'll be talking about Loki. That's going to air Wednesday, so watch it on Disney Plus. And then on Friday, I will be in Muskoka, but I'm going to try to do the podcast from there.
That should be funny.
Yeah, it should be good. I'll probably be very drunk. So watch Loki and then come watch our spoiler talk about Loki episode 1 next Friday.
Hell yeah.
Follow at Customs by Matthew. Follow Moose Milk Media. All that fun stuff. Thanks for watching, and we appreciate your time, and thanks.
Make sure you stay fresh.
Stay fresh,
Subway.
like Matt said. All right, bye.
Peace.